yourselves the question, what is it about this little guy here that tells me that he is a sea lion rather than a seal? Because these are quite closely related animals. So there are a few obvious things to look out for. First of all, have a look at these. Even though he's only a little youngster, he's about 2 years of age, which even by standards of male sea lions in the wild is very young, because they get to about 10 out there in the wild. But you can see his front flippers are huge for an animal this young. They're several times the size of my hands, which certainly aren't small by any means. And sea lions, therefore, are the animals which will have really big flippers at the front, whereas seals, you can tell the difference by the fact that their front flippers are much, much smaller. So the way that Casper can hold himself up nicely on his station, that's something that little seals really can't do, because they just basically cannot hold themselves up by using their front flippers. And as you can see there, he can use his front flippers to move around pretty quickly on the land. They'll wander around on all fours and hold themselves up quite nicely. Again, that's something that seals just can't do. Those front flippers are so small, they just basically have to slide along on their bellies instead. Yeah, a little bit like that. So just looking at the way these animals move will give you a really big clue as to whether it's a seal or a sea lion. And of course, when sea lions like Casper here are swimming in the water, they're going to be relying mainly on those front flippers. And if you have a look just below the surface of the water as he's swimming, he'll be doing this sort of a motion really, a little bit like oars, using mainly those front flippers. Beautiful. Whereas with seals, they will rely much more heavily on the back flippers in the water, and they'll be sort of swishing those from side to side, a little bit like a fish in some respects. But that, of course, is not the way it's done with sea lions. Now, another thing that you might notice, if you get a really close-up look at this guy, I'll bring him nice and close here, is you can see that he has some little ears here, just at the side of his head. And that's something, again, that tells me that he's a sea lion, because you won't find them on a seal. They have got inner ears, but they don't have any sort of external structure like you can see on this little guy. So they've kind of lost those, really, in order to make themselves even more streamlined. The seals, really, are more adapted to a sort of oceanic lifestyle, whereas sea lions are kind of a halfway point, really, between a land-based animal and a more ocean-going one. And they will spend a lot of their time just hauled out on beaches. They're very famous for doing this around San Francisco, where they'll lie out on man-made structures like piers for many hours of the day. So they only really need to return to the water in order to catch their fish. Well, Casper's done really well for us there, but we're going to see now if he'll give us a nice little wave goodbye. They're not from here, over from the top of the rock. So once he gets to the top, give him a nice big wave, and hopefully he'll wave back to us. Lovely. So we'll see if we can get a slightly better wave. That was a little wave. We'll see if we can get a nice big wave as well. But this little guy here was a completely untrained sea lion just 11 months ago. He'd only been with us here for a few months. Before that, he was over at Belfast. So he has done really well with the training in this time and come a very long way. Still wasn't a very big way, Casper. We do something here with our sea lions, though, called positive reinforcement. So this basically means if they get things right, so we're always sure to reward their efforts. If they're being a bit lazy, then we'll sort of give them some encouragement. We like to give them a few chances to kind of redeem themselves. And when they do get things spot on, we'll give them a big jackpot reward. So that's more, a bit more effort there from Casper. So I'm going to let him know he's done a really good job with that one, and a few little treats of fish. Well, that's all from this first little guy here, but let's see if we can give him a nice send-off. Let him know he's done a really good job for us there.